Hi, Tonio. Nice to meet you. Thank you for agreeing to a number of questions, whatever you feel comfortable answering. And I guess we'll get started with, where were you born?
I was born in Gilman, Manitoba.
And did you grow up there as well?
No, I was raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Okay, and how long did you live in Manitoba?
Pretty much my whole life.
And then you came from Manitoba to Vancouver, or how did things go?
Well, I was in and out of my, throughout my life I was in and out of prison. And when I had gotten sentenced to the pen, I got like a 5-year sentence. And saw an opportunity, kind of made a decision for myself to get out of Winnipeg because the cycle just kept on repeating. So I figured I'd come out this way, and plus I wasn't like, I just didn't want to I guess die there.
Right.
Because everyone that I knew growing up, close friends, they're all gone. I'm the last one.
They all died?
Yeah. So, and I grew up, didn't have a happy childhood or anything. I guess you could say I was a product of rape, and my dad raped my mom, and I was a result of that. And she was 15, turned 16 when she had me. And throughout my childhood, I guess she found out I stayed with my grandma for the first few years, and I guess she found out that she could get money for me, so she came and got me from my grandmother's, and from there I was in and out of phases, I guess, I don't know, but it'd be like, I was beaten my whole life,
By whom?
my mother, because she used to call me a different name. I remember her saying that she used to punch me and she kicking me and stuff. She's like, F you David, and I'm like, who are you? I was like, who's David? I said, Mom. I said, I'm Tonio, your son. I didn't realize David was my dad, and I look exactly like him, so I guess because I look like him, she beat me up a lot. She was traumatized from that.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
This went on for years, until I was 12, and finally hit me again, and then boom, I just kind of looked at her. I was like, Mom, that doesn't hurt no more, and she hit me again. Like, I told you it doesn't hurt no more, and then she swung again. I kind of blocked her hand, grabbed it, and then I pushed her down and kind of kicked her out of the way. I'm like, F this, I'm leaving, I'm done. I'm moving back to Winnipeg, and I was up in the res at that time. And through my childhood, if I didn't clean up anything perfect to her standards, I was grounded for the whole summer, so I didn't have a summers at all, because she wanted to torture me that way, I guess. I don't know. If I didn't clean up right, I was grounded for the summer. And then I left, and when I got to Winnipeg, I was homeless. I was running around stealing to survive, wondering where I was going to stay. I had family there, but I didn't want any involvement with them. And next thing you know, I'm roaming the streets of Winnipeg, 12 years old, don't know what to do, and then next thing you know, these guys came to scoop me up. And when they scooped me up, they asked me, he's like, how come you're not at home? Going to school? I was like, I don't have a home. Like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't have a home.
And who were these people that scooped you up?
These were gang members.
Oh.
Yeah, these guys were asking me all these questions and what I was gonna do, or if I have a home, and I told them no. These guys were gang members, and they scooped me up and they said, come with me. They said, come with us. And they said, we'll take care of you. Let's go get something to eat. So I was like, okay. Very, very hungry, so I was like, of course I said I was gonna go. And then right from there, I was like being trained to be a gang member. My auntie found out I was on the streets with these people, and she came and got me to my uncle and gave me shit. Like, how come what are you doing with these people? And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you're taking care of me. You're treating me good. I said, they're not beating me up. I said, I feel welcome. I don't feel like, like an outsider. I didn't feel like a punching mat. I didn't feel, like I wasn't not wanted. I was like, so next thing you know, I was with my auntie and them wouldn't let me leave. And with these guys that came and got me, I grew up, I had a bunch of friends and stuff from back home and stuff, like when I lived in Winnipeg when I was a kid, so they found out I was there and whatnot, and they kind of like got linked up too with the same people. And we grew up that way, and then my auntie found out how bad things were, and they told me that after a while from staying there, they're like, you can't stay, we're gonna send you back up. I'm like, I'm not gonna go live with my mom, man. I said, after all that shit, and I was like, you're gonna go live with your grandma in Gillum. I'm like, okay, I'll go there. But I said, why are you guys sending me away? I said, can I just stay here? They go, you're getting too much shit. I said, you go there for the school year and you come back in the summertime. And I ended up going back up north, stayed there for for the school year, but I kept on getting expelled. And when I got expelled, I just be causing trouble in Gillum.
And so you went to jail, you say?
Yeah.
And when did that happen?
Started when I was young. Be a couple months here, a couple months there, and so that was pretty much my life. And after going back to Gillum, I didn't go back to the youth center for a long time. At 12, they threw me in hockey. I played hockey since I was 12. Even though I was supposed to keep my grades up, but I wasn't going to school because I got expelled. So my coach said that because I'm not going to school, I had to do community service, and he'd help me out with that. So I found, a way to focus my anger rather than focusing it on other people. When I was young, I used to sit there, go to parks and stuff, and I used to just sit there and watch families. And I sat there looking at the mom, the dad, the kids having fun, and and I was sitting there and I was kind of pissed off at it because I wanted that,
Yeah, for sure.
And I never got that. So I'd run in there and caused trouble with them because I was angry. I envied them and was jealous. So I just steal their stuff and take off. Screw up the little family dynamic because I didn't have that. And a lot of the times I did, like just go there just to, I don't know,
Cause trouble?
cry. No, not to cause trouble, but like, it wasn't always about trouble. Just a few times I did that, but I wanted to cry, you know, because I wanted that so badly.
Yeah, so much sadness.
And so I never had a dad growing up, you know.
Never had dad?
Never had a dad growing up. He's trying to get a hold of me now, but he's keep telling me to F off. I was like, never needed you, don't want you. I said, I'm good without you.
So how long have you been on the downtown east side?
For about almost, I guess, a year. Almost a year. Yeah.
How old are you now?
37.
37, okay. And what does a typical day look like for you on the downtown east side?
Typical day for me in downtown east side is to get up, wonder what I'm going to do today. I just recently got into a shelter and I was living on the streets. I'd stay up all night and walk around, figure out what am I going to do drugs just to kind of ease the pain. And I don't know. There's something, I don't know, there's a little more to the story than just all the trauma and bad stuff. I did a lot of good stuff too. And I started following my culture.
Okay.
When I was like, I'm gonna say 24, 25, when my girlfriend passed away. She took her life.
Oh, geez.
And I felt responsible for that because I lied to her so many times and she would believe me. And, you know, like, just sitting there thinking about it, you know, I still blame myself because, you know, like, I told her I was gonna stop being a drug dealer, stop being gang member, stop being all this, and then it happened, right? And then I started walking the red road, and that's when my life changed. My whole perspective of life changed. You know, I went to a Sundance and I did my first fast before I went to the Sundance, and that was a tough time because I didn't know what to do. They took me out in the wilderness and left me there for 4 days and 4 nights. And I was kind of scared, you know. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. So the first day was supposed to represent like me and the creator talking and letting him know who I am. And then the second day is supposed to be about the past, so I'm supposed to talk to him about the past.
I'll just come back.
Just wait, please. And it's supposed to be about the past. So that was a tough day, and then the third day, this is like when I started to get hungry and thirsty, and I become more, you know, they say they become more like you're close to death because you need water and food or something like that. But it's supposed to represent the present day. The struggles that we face today is supposed to represent that day because you're struggling with hunger and thirst. And then the fourth day become so hungry and so thirsty, and you become more, I guess, cleansed inside, and your spirit becomes more, your spirit comes out more, because you feel like, I don't know, sometimes they say, you feel like you're going to die or whatever. You become more spirit than man, than physical form, right? And that represents the future day, your future. So now that you're cleansed, past those 33 days, you talk about the future. What do you want for yourself in the future? And I completed all those, I finished my first fast. It was tough. And, I was kind of proud of the accomplishment of what I did, because I always have naysayers all the time. People from my reserve didn't really like me because I was a gangster or a city boy or whatever, and I wanted to prove everyone wrong, so I did it.
Good for you.
I completed it, and then my next step was to work at the sweats and stuff. So I was a firekeeper, and I kept on forking in the rocks and the sweat, and that was my job as an Escopios, a helper. And then Sundance came, and then I got to witness for the first time the sacrificing of my people for other people, not just themselves. So the Sundance is a very sacred ceremony, and people Sundance say if their family member is sick, or someone in their family is addicted or something like that, and they dance for that, their spirit. They're sacrificing their being and their self for that person, so they could help them. And that, like, I was sitting there and I heard the drums going. This is like 4 a.m. in the morning, and then the sun was rising, and I heard the drums boom, boom, boom. The singing was going, and the whistles were blowing. And then my spirit father, he put his arm around my shoulder, and he's asking, because I was tearing, right? I didn't know what to expect from that, and then I just kind of watched him. I was just like looking, just kind of watching my people do this. And I'm like, whoa, man! Something started, my throat started like clogging up, and I'm like, what the hell, right? And listening to the songs and the people dancing their way into the arbor, and then getting ready to sacrifice themselves for 4 days and 4 nights with no food and water, dancing. And then I started tearing, and I could feel it. I felt that, and I was kind of like, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, kind of shaking it up. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell's going on, man? And that's when my dad came up and put his arm around me. He's like, what's wrong, my boy? And I was like, what? I said, nothing, man. I said, nothing's wrong, man. He's like, seriously, man. He's like, tell me. He's like, what's wrong? And then I just stood there and I just watched everything, and I was like, you know what, man? He's like, I think I found where I'm supposed to be, man. I just felt connected. And it was, I don't know, life-changing a little bit.
Do you still go to places where you can connect with?
Not right now.
No?
I tell a lot of people, I was given responsibilities after 4.5 years doing that life. I was supposed to start learning how to run a sweat lodge. So I was on my way to being a sweat lodge keeper. Eventually Sundance helper chief, I guess, in the future. I'm only guessing. I'm supposed to become a medicine man. Yeah, I'm just supposed to all around help. And people are supposed to, one of my responsibilities was to, they said, I'm the bridge to this life that the gang life and whatnot, drug life and whatnot. And I'm the bridge to bring the young ones back into the ways of our people. So I was given that responsibility.
Did you do some of that?
Not yet. And I wasn't,
Okay.
because I was scared, right?
Mhm.
They told me all this and stuff right away. I'm like, what? I'm supposed to do all this now? And they're like, not now, but training for it now. I'm like, well, what? I'm like, what the hell, man? I was like, oh, I only been here 4.5 years. I was like, what about them, man? This guy's been here for like 20 years. This one's 15, 14, 10, 20, 14, 14, you know? I'm like, they've been walking this way for longer than I have, man. And they said, because I lived the life most haven't. In the ways of that life, right? And there's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are, ex-gang members and stuff like that in there, but, I connected strongly, faster, and more than I expected. So
you might go more towards that in the future. Try and find your way back to.
yeah, I made a choice to come over here to be homeless with my partner.
Mhm.
I made a choice recently to start doing fentanyl. Why? Because I want to know what it's like. I need to know what it's like. I feel like I need to know what it's like. There's a lot of pain, a lot of lost people, and it's like, it feels good, but knowing that it just masks what people are going through, like what I'm going through too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I just lost brothers, and my baby sister recently.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's really tough. Do you feel like fentanyl has now become part of your life for the time being, or sometimes?
For the time being, because I don't like hearing other people judge people by the way, because they're doing they're just downers, downheads, right? I'm like, buddy, man, you don't even know what the you're going through, man. Like, just because you guys read books and watch the fucking news doesn't mean that you don't know what's going on in that person's life, man.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'm like, I sacrifice myself to get a better understanding. So when the time comes and I decide to walk the red road again, which I'm going to do soon.
Okay, good.
I have this knowledge, the better understanding, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I'm still doing this stuff, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
You're gonna get there.
Now I know what it's like, you know what I mean? So I have experience in all this, almost all of this. I have a better understanding, and just so I could go tell my elders in the future what I've learned, and then that way we could better attack the problem from a certain angle, which they didn't know about.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to tell them.
So that is your plan for the future, to get on that track,
Yes.
and which you're feeling that's sort of your calling or your mission in the next while.
Yeah.
And so you have hope for yourself and for getting there and making a difference
Yes.
in others' lives. Okay, that's great.
One day at a time. Never leap. Don't ever leap or run, because you're just gonna fall and scrape your knees real bad, and you're gonna feel the pain. You're gonna ow 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 ow. You're like, I can't do it. But if you take the time to be patient with yourself, take the baby steps you need to, because when you take the pick myself up and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to live my life day by day.
That's very good.
Just be patient with yourself. Remember, living life is all about learning, and it's not about getting things done fast. Take the time to learn things, because more knowledge creates more wisdom for everyone. And you know, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough. Like I'm going through right now, it's hard, it's tough. I'm not giving up. And you know, this is something I needed to challenge myself with, I guess. I've turned it into a challenge, because you know how hard it is to get on, you know, get housing. You get housing with BC Housing, and some people wait years and years and years. So before I leave here, I want to at least accomplish getting my own place. So that way, if I leave before I get my own place, I'm gonna be stuck with that over my head, and I'm gonna sit there and feel like I never completed what I was here to do, is to actually get a place.
All right, so you're waiting on a place.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And I truly hope that you get your housing, get back on the path that you know you need to be on, and share with others your healing journey, and guide them also for their healing journey.
There's another thing, don't get me wrong, me and my mom have a great relationship to this day, you know.
Oh, you do?
She apologized to me when I was behind bars one time, and she cried and whatnot, and I told her it was okay.
Oh, wow.
I was like, it's okay. I said, then I wouldn't be the man who I am today, right? So I appreciate that. I told her that I love her, and yeah,
great to hear.
We have a great relationship.
Oh, well, that I imagine has made quite a difference.
Oh yeah, it has.
I'm very happy for you that happened.
Thank you.
All right. I hope that things just get better for you from this point forth.
Thanks.
And thank you again so much for sharing.
Thank you.